Yeah, our next speaker is Kathy Di Nicolo. Kathy is an author whose fictional novel, Connected, An American Homecoming, tells the story of two teenagers caught in the aftermath of World War I. Another of her works, Sidekicks, is a user-friendly activity book and could be used by book lovers of all ages. Sidekick offers an opportunity to talk face-to-face, get unplugged, read between the lines, and open doors to important conversations. Our next speaker, Kathy Di Nicolo.
Thanks for having me here today. This is about the third time. This is about the third time that I've come to Casa Italia, to the Literarti. And I thought, well, what more can I do? Let's see, I have sung, I've done role plays, and then it came to me at once. I mean, I had been in education for 40 years. So I said, I'll give them a test. Yeah. And the funny thing about this test is that I gave myself the same test before I started writing any of this. And the test began like this. First question, why should I, or anyone else that I know of, be writing, be doing this type of thing in such a technological age? We have so many things at our fingertips now, make the world so much easier, give us time-saving devices. True? True.
Oh, yeah.
So, why should I write? And the second question is, this generation is the smartest generation that we've ever seen. They carry computers on their wrists, on their phones. They have iPads. They're the I generation. It's true? It's true. And the last question I asked myself as I faced myself in the mirror is, you need to be you. And that was the question that you've heard so much about today. You being you in terms of the mission to share your heritage. I especially liked so many of the comments I heard today about sharing for legacy, sharing your stories for the next generation, sharing your culture, not simply a matter of biology. All true? True. But now let's look back at these answers, because I had to give myself some of these answers when I gave myself that first test, and I had to learn how to break my silence. And so one of the first things I did was look back at some of these questions that I had asked myself. The first being, this is the age of electronics. And yet, we have some fallout from this. We have fallout from it because with all these time-saving devices, we haven't really learned to discipline ourselves. We haven't really learned the rules of the road, so to speak, on this technological highway that we all talk about. We haven't used that time to our advantage a good part of the time. We have become a little sidetracked. We need to go back and look at some of the rules, impose some of the rules on ourselves. I've frequently talked about the house where you will see everybody in the dining room on their devices. Go out to dinner, you'll see 4 people at a table on their devices. Walk into a room, nobody looks up because they're on their devices. So we've saved a lot of time, but what are we using it for? The other thing I wanted to talk about was the young people, the smartest generation ever. They have every resource in terms of books, in terms of computers. And yet, research last 10 years or so has shown us that they are the loneliest at-risk generation that we've come across in a long time. Hard to believe. You think people going through wars and depression, that should be the loneliest generation, the most depressed generation, not so. And this problem has been growing stronger and stronger, measured on the same kind of balance beam as how much these young people are using technology. Let me give you some examples. So they're the smartest generation. What they learned in 4th grade, I didn't learn until high school. What they're learning in high school, I got in college. And this puts tremendous pressure on our young people at a very, very, very fast pace. And so what's happening is that they are overwhelmed. We have an epidemic now of anxiety among our young people. We look at another academically. The 2017 National Report Card says that a reading proficiency rate of 4th, 8th, and 12th graders, the proficiency rate is at about 40%. Actually, it's closer to 36. So we're giving them more and more information, faster and faster, and we're making it harder and harder, and they are overwhelmed. Not done. Not only that, but they look on social media, and everything is happy faces and a lot of different places that are so exciting. And the other side of that, what's wrong with my life? So we have a lot of distortion with our young people, and you say, well, it's not all about that. It's not all about technology. In 2019, the average amount of time that a person looks at their phone in one day, 47 times. All right, so last question, me being me, you being you. I